Any athlete who comes to your mind who's inspired people with their stories, inspired other sports persons?
I am very fond of Rani Rampal. She was.
It was just in my head when she said it. It just instantly I picked up on that name.
I've seen her over the last maybe 10 plus years, and within those 10 years, she became the captain of the national women's hockey team. Yeah. They had this glorious moment at the Olympics where they beat Australia, which was truly a cinematic moment for all of us. And where she comes from and where she's gotten to and what she's doing now. She's the daughter of a rickshaw puller. And the first thing that she could do with her career in hockey was to build a permanent house for her family. And she comes from Haryana. So from there, and to the fact that she initially wasn't too confident in speaking, to today her sitting in most elite organizations and gatherings and talking like this to you with complete confidence, now running her own training facilities, now being able to coach younger women to get into the sport and to empower the women of her own state by telling her story. I think all of that put together has been so inspiring, and then you realize that okay, these are the stories that need to be told, and it has such a social impact, let alone within the sporting ecosystem.
There was one press conference I was of Mohammed Siraj. This was in Australia after he had taken a 5-wicket haul. And it was a very simple question asked to Siraj that, you know, do you think this is finally the answer you give to people who have not reposed faith in you? It was not a trick question. It was a very simple question. Then he says that it is a reply to all the haters.
Ouch.
I did not tell him anything. After the press conference, I asked him, what do you think is the meaning of the word hate? He has a very NBA sort of an understanding of the word hate. Then I decoded it for him. You know, so as journalists, as PR people, we also need to tell them that no one is hating you.
Yeah.
It's a very unforgivable world. We all have to work, thrive in this world. We all have to do in our own ways, but no one is hating anyone. That sort of a trust has to be given to the players. You know, the first story we did on Gukesh was when he was 9 years old. Because that was the time when he had won his first international tournament. So when there are, you know, breakout performances like this, even when they are so young, I am not saying that for every performance, every great performance we have done a story, but there have been, you know, performances that have been picked up by the media. And the other day when he became the world champion, we were able to take out that footage of a 9-year-old Gukesh. He was as shy as he is now. So, like there's a young boy called Aarit Kapil who's from Delhi. He drew with Magnus Carlsen. So I had him in the studio. He's 9 years old. So we love to tell their stories. You know, in a non-war scenario, what is it that you tell stories of you know, of your heroes that gets you those eyeballs? It is sports.
You spoke of PR disaster. Give me an example.
Oh God, there are so many. There was this one case where the facilities at a particular camp for the players of a sport were not up to mark, and there was a journalist present there who covered it. And that led to a disaster on the whole management of that particular sport and how the athletes' conditions are. So when they came to me with that crisis, the obvious thing to do was, what are you going to do about it? Is there an immediate action that you're going to take? And I think that is in the crisis manual of any PR person, that A, own up to what went wrong, and B, do something to fix it. So they actually did that. They went down, they overnight or over the next 2 days upgraded the facility, and then we took down certain media to say, okay, this was reported, people saw it, they acted upon it. Nobody is denying that that was the situation. So I think end to end, if you have that kind of a turnaround story which is genuine, basis action, it's something I can work with. And if it goes down a fairly unethical line, then we very politely say we cannot do much about this. Let it die down its own natural death. So when there is a crisis where you know no positive narrative can come out, there's nothing they can say that goes right, we tell them give it a few weeks. Leave it alone. It has to have its own cycle, start to finish.
When the whole conflict of interest case was happening in Supreme Court after 2 IPL franchises were caught in spot fixing, Chennai Super Kings and Rajasthan Royals, N. Srinivasan was helming Chennai Super Kings, and N. Srinivasan was being represented by one very senior Supreme Court lawyer on a given day when, you know, the judge T.S. Thakur in that case questioned, you know, you are directly linked to the fixing episode. What do you have to say? Because you're your son-in-law. So then Srinivasan told his lawyer to say that he is not related to me because he is my wife's daughter's husband. So Mr. Thakur, the judge, got so angry, said, "Are you casting aspersions on your wife now? Please get out of the courtroom." And Srinivasan eventually was disqualified. You know what the story, I mean, the story played out, and Mr. Thakur got really, really angry that day when he said that he is my wife's daughter's husband, has got nothing to do with me.
Right.